Okay, so that was our nice little logo, and the logo requires a 512 by 512 image, and that's what I've put on Blackboard for us. So many open items here. So you can see this logo is 512 by 512. So what I want to do is actually store that somewhere that's, I'm going to put a bunch of files together. So let's see. I'm going to go into where I have my Android Studio projects. There's our restaurant rater. And I'll just add a new folder here called Deployment Assets. And hit save. So we're going to have several assets that we need for deployment. So this will be one of them. So that's our logo. The next thing we're going to need is a banner. And this Norio, also just like the logo maker, has a pretty neat little utility for building banners. And what I like about this, and I'll put that into the chat. Aha.
Jared, are you speaking right now?
I am now. Sorry, I was muted and didn't see your text in time. So what I was saying, the recording is going to be solid, but the live experience was not. Okay, so what I suggested was to create a directory with your application. Yes, we are recording. It's I'm using a different software to do the recording. So down here you can see that little red bubble. That means we're recording. If it's just a purple circle, we're not. I know. I'm experimenting with different things. Hopefully this gives a better end product. Alrighty. So I suggested doing it inside the project, and I just put a folder here called Deployment Assets. And in here I put the logo. So I just downloaded it off of Blackboard and put it in here. And now what I've done is I've gone to this Norio, and I put the link into the group chat. And Norio is great because you can see the size is the Android feature graphic by default. So, you know, you can build this, of course, in any tool you want, like Photoshop or GIMP or anything. This particular one just happened to be pre-built and has the exact sizes we need. So nice to use. So the title here, I can change the title from awesome to be, I don't know, Fall 21 Restaurant Rater. Awfully big. Maybe I'll get rid of, let's go Resto Rater. Yeah, something like that. And again, this isn't really the same color scheme we have in our application. So we can go to our application and grab some of the colors from our application. So maybe I'll use this, this teal color again. And when I click on the color, it doesn't have the ability to put a hex code in. It's only RGB. So still not that big of a deal. I can just go to an RGB converter. So I can say hex to RGB. And if there's my hex code, I just paste it in, click on convert. It says 3, 218, and 197. So I go back to where did it go? Did I lose it? There it is. Okay. So I can click on here. And of course my memory is not going to last that long. So 3, 218, 197. Three, 218, 197. And now that goes to the color scheme that's in our application. And for the second piece here, that's the subtitle. Again, we can say class example and we'll pick out a different color, maybe this light purple here. (187.134.252). No chance I can remember all that. So I'll just grab it, put it in here for now. It's snowing where I am. Snow rain kind of out there. 187. 134. And 252. Not sure if I love the combo, but it works. You can change the size a little bit. And I'm going to export. Nope. Download. So you know, it is a good idea to donate. I'm not going to donate right at this second, but you know, donates usually are just like, you can be a small amount, just shows appreciation for the fact that you use their service. And I'm going to copy that little restaurant rater PNG file and put it with my other assets. Okay, so now we've got our banner. And our logo. And I see in the group chat you guys were nice enough that it's had put it in the chat for me. That would have been helpful if I'd noticed. All right, so now we're moving quite along here. And I also put in here the materialpalette.com oh, okay, so Lindsay was saying in the group chat that if you click on any of these, it gives you the RGB, so you don't even need to use the hex to RGB converter. So thanks for that. Good observation. So the material palette I believe I've shown you this in other classes. It's a way of picking colors. So if you wanted to have, you know, I don't know, the Finnish colors here. Oh no, they're blue. They're blue and white, aren't they? Sweden's blue and yellow. So let's see. Let's go back. Oh, they don't have white. Okay. Well, we'll do Swedes then. Anyways, they will automatically put together palettes for you of colors that are complementary, and that can really just sort of speed up your whole decision making and still give you a nice professional looking product when done. Okay. So the next thing on our agenda is we're going to need something called an APK, and the APK is used by the Google Play Store to know who can update, who can load and update the changes to your application. And I put a little blurb here if you want to go to the source of this little bit here, but it's basically saying that it's so they know who's allowed to make a change. So to do this, you go to Tools, Build, and we're going to generate signed bundle APK. Right, so it's right here in the slides. Go to Build, generate signed bundle APK, and in here it gives you two options: Android app bundle and just a regular APK. So the one that we want is the Android app bundle, and so when we go in here, it's selected by default, so we say next. And if you want to read up on app signing, there's a little link there for you. But what we need to do is create a new key store. And as the name sort of suggests, a key store is an area where we're going to store all of the keys for our application. Each unique build requires a new key. So this key store is a very important asset because it's basically storing your ability to deploy your app. So we're going to say create new. And in here, it's going to want a path. So where do we want these keys to be stored? If you put it in your deployment assets folder, the only thing I would suggest is if you don't have a private repo, that you may not want to push this to GitHub because, of course, it's got your key information in it. If it's a private repo, it should be fine. So Android Studio projects, my restaurator, my deployment assets. And in here we need to put a name. So let's call it the key store. Now this password is not like a typical password that you can easily recover. Like, you know, most places have their two-factor authentication and you can just recover password that way. This is like local to your PC. So make sure you write down the password, you know, password keeper or something that for sure you'll remember, but I keep mine in a password keeper. I'm just going to look it up. So this is the password for the key store. So again, make sure you pick something that's secure and you know what it is, because you can't access your key store. Everything inside of it's going to be encrypted without knowing that password. So that's the key store that holds our keys. And then we need to set up the actual key for our first deployment. I'm just going to leave the default name of key 0. You can call it key 1. You can call it initial build, whatever you want. I'm just going to call it key number 0. And then you can give it another password. It can be the same or different. Depending on your security concerns, you can make it different for every release. I'm going to keep it valid for 25 years. And organization, I'm going to put Georgian College. Barrie, Ontario, and CA for Canada. So hopefully I didn't have a typo in either of those passwords. The one I use is very, well, it's an auto-generated one, so it's very, it's got a lot of ups and downs in it. So people ready for me to continue? We'll say OK. So now we've got a path to our key store. We've got passwords for the new key. I'm going to click on remember passwords because I don't want to have to type them in again. And then we need a path for the exported key. And I'll put it in here as one of the assets. And we're going to say next. And you can choose between a debug version and a release version. I'm just trying to think. I don't think it really matters for what we're doing in this course. So I'm just going to click on release version and say finish. And it takes a little bit to build this. And then what we're going to need to do is we're going to need to get screenshots of this running on a phone and a tablet. I think you can get away with just using the phone screenshots, but all right. So we've got our signed bundle. Okay, I believe it's the JKS one that we need. All right, so next thing we need is we need some images of our app. So I'm just going to make my device here a little smaller. There's usually a little spot you can grab it, but this is okay. Basically, I find it easiest to grab a snapshot of this if you've got like a white background behind it. And I'm just going to use a little snipping tool. If you're on a Mac, I believe there's the equivalent. I just don't know what it's called. And oops. Just just grab this. So that takes a little snapshot of our phone, and I'll save it. And I'm going to put that into our assets as well. I think I have this link. My copy and paste is copy address. There we go. So I'm going to put in phone restaurant list. Let's see. And then we can modify our phone by going to plus and take another snapshot. It's basically what do you want the general public to see about your application? And let's see, where did we have some comments? Jared's Place probably has lots of comments. There we go. You probably can't see it on your side, but I've got this challenging little WebEx piece that keeps coming down. There, finally went away. And then they do recommend that you have phone and tablet objects. So this is where I was saying it'd be good if you have a tablet available. So I'll choose this tablet. I made it too small. How are you doing time? Okay, we're okay. I'm laughing because it's so hard to get to where I need to get to. There we go. So, tablet restaurant list. And we'll do one more. So now we've got that piece. We've got all the images we need. We've got our, I think my AAB. Oh yeah, oh, that's over here under releases. Yeah, so we're good. Okay. So now we've got all the assets we need, and we've got our signed bundle, and what we need to do now is we need to go to our account on the Play Store. Which I thought I had open already. Apparently I don't. Oh, here's my wrong, shoot. Okay, so when you come into the Google Play Store, so let me just believe this is the URL you would want. So just confirm for me that you can, because you set up your account earlier, most of you did, and you should come up. You may not have any apps visible here, but you should see the Google Play console. And what you want to do is create an app. So we have to give it a name. So I'm going to call this Fall21COMP. Yeah. Restaurant. You can call it whatever you want. This is the app name as it's going to show in the Google Play Store. Default language is going to be English. It's an application. It's going to be free. And you can read through the developer policies and export laws and all that good stuff. We're not making any money off of this. We're not doing anything more than just actually trying to create an app. So you can read through that on your own time. And then we're just going to go create app. And this brings up this dashboard view of creating your app. And it's weird that I have view testing. Huh. Seems like it's out of order. Set up your app. So this is the category that we want to expand. So you see it has view tasks and hide tasks. So this is the idea of the dashboard, is that you can sort of get this one-stop shop for everything. So I'm going to go to view tasks, and we're just going to work our way through all of these different items. So I'm going to start with app access. So if your app is based on login credentials, blah, 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 provide instructions on how to access them. Last time I sort of skipped this step. And we'll just hit save. Now, the only thing I don't love about the way that they've designed this is, you can see we're saved. We kind of look like we worked through that. But now to go back to see what else we have to do, we have to click this back button at the top. So now you can see app access is done. So now we go to ads. Will our app contain ads? No. Hit save. And go back to our dashboard. Content rating. So it's a questionnaire that basically is going to give us a content rating for all the different countries around the world. So we'll start a little questionnaire. So our first, poor UX, 1 out of 5 for this console. Agree. So the category. So I'm just going to say it's educational, right? We're using this to learn, so it's just educational. And I'm going to click on next. Violence. Can the app contain violent material? And it says, no, this does not refer to user-generated content. So our app, people could technically put their own comments in, but that's not something we have to worry about. Are we putting any violent material in there? No. Can the app contain sexual material or nudity? No, we're not going to be putting any of that in. Will it have any offensive? Fight me in the comments. Yeah, but that's where the key here is this question does not refer to user-generated comments. So it's just how they rate it. The next section we have here is language, potentially offensive language. Again, it doesn't refer to user-generated content. Any controlled substances? No. So this next one, does it natively allow users to interact or exchange content with other users through voice communication, texting, or sharing images or audio? And I'm going to say no, because it's really just comments, the way we've designed it. Does the app share the user's current physical location? No. Does the app allow users to purchase digital goods? No. So I hit save, and we click on next. And then what it does is it builds us the rating. So here's Brazil, North America, Europe, Germany, the rest of the world. And we'll hit submit. And then now we've got our rating, and Eric will say 1 out of 5 for having to go back to the top to get to this. Now we are identifying our target audience. So what's the target age group? You must add a privacy policy if your target audience includes children under 13. So I'm just going to say people older than 13, so I don't have to put a privacy policy in, and say next. All right. It's funny, I don't remember seeing that before. So maybe I'll just, when I did it before, I just put 18 and over. No, still the same. I don't think it's going to appeal to children. I will say next. And save. Go back to our dashboard. The COVID-19 contact tracing and status apps. So we're going to say my app is not publicly available COVID-19 contact tracing or status app. We're going to take the last one there. And go back to our dashboard. And the data oh, I missed the news app one. Is it a news app? No. So the data safety one, I didn't fill this one in when I did my test drive. And it's basically to do with what you need to disclose if you're storing any user information. And they have a whole thing in here on data types and whatnot. So I got to a point where I needed to have a website. So I didn't fill this piece in, but it basically talks to personal information. So an email address is technically one of the data types that we would be, storing in the app. So does your app collect or share any required user data types? Well, yes, it stores email addresses. Is user data collected by your app encrypted in transit? Yes, I believe that's the whole point of Firebase. Do you provide a way for users to request that their data is deleted? No, we actually don't. And this is where maybe we might have to put this to be just a testing mode, right? Versus a release mode. Okay, we're back to that. So this particular one, just because we're running out of time here, I'm actually going to skip this. I'm going to go back to the dashboard. Leave in discard. So I was able to submit this without it. So the next one here, it's an app, category. I'm going to say it's education. And this information is used for users on the Google Play Store. So it will be published information. So Eric's great new email address will be useful here. And I created one too, constant learning dad. And I don't think you actually had to put a phone number or website down. I don't need any external marketing. Save. And then set up your store listing. Your app may not comply with upcoming changes to metadata policy, 30 characters or less. Yeah, I'm not sure, Eric. They're going to have to find another way, maybe Zagat's or whatever. So they're saying this is 38 characters. I'll just shorten it. Hit save. Changes couldn't be saved. Why not? Default is English. Some languages have errors. Is it saying I have a typo? Maybe. Haven't experienced this problem before. Maybe it doesn't like spacing here. I hit save without scrolling down enough. This is my fault. Okay. So this is where our assets are going to come into play. The app icon, we just go to upload. And in here, we'll go to our deployment assets. And so we need our app icon. So that's this one. Say upload. Then we need our feature graphic, which was the banner one. And you can attach a video of how to use your app and all kinds of things. Phone screenshots. So here I've got phone, phone, phone. And then our tablet screenshots. Now I'll hit save. Okay, so now those are saved. All right, so now we've got, go back to our dashboard. That data safety one, I'm gonna have to come back to that. We don't have enough time on that. And releasing your app is the next one. So select countries and regions. So I'm gonna add a country. Just good old Canada. Add countries and regions. Now, if you only want to release this for specific people, you can select testers, or you can make it, so right now we have closed testing selected. I'm actually going to change this to be open testing. Oops. So the difference there is if you typically a company would only want maybe a handful of people to actually see like their beta product. If you put it to open testing, then anyone could actually download it. Create a new release. So this is when we did that AA or the APK key item. So here I'm going to click on upload. And
how did you get to that screen from open testing?
So on open testing, I clicked on create a new release. And now I've got a funny feeling it's not going to let me go backwards. 0.5 out of 5 for their UI here. I think I can just hit the back button. So this is where we're going to upload our bundle. So under my app, right? So my Restaurant Radar app, under the app folder, there's release, and in here you'll see this app release AAB. And you want to say open. And this takes a little bit because it's a bigger document. while it's uploading, we can fill in some of the stuff. Release name, initial, I don't know, alpha release. Oh, shoot. We're out of time. You're probably all going to get this exact same error. And what it is, where it says com.example is restricted. When our application, you know, the default out of the box, when we built any new app, it created this com.example.whatever. You may or may not remember it. One of the first times we did it, I had said it needs to be unique to be deployed on the Play Store. And we're out of time right now. But what I did do is on Blackboard, I built a process for you to follow to do that. So this document here, how to change the application ID, actually walks you through, there's numerous steps, and I will make you a video as well since we're out of class time today. But basically, there's numerous steps you have to go through. They don't make it that easy to rename the package because as with all things Android, things are really integrated. So when you change the package name, it actually changes several other things. So what I'll do for you is I will build a little video on how to do that and to finish the deploy piece. I will get that out today so that you can deploy your app because it does take a little bit of time for Google to review your deployment. So I am so sorry that I missed that step. But again, I'll just put it in a little video. So that's pretty much timing-wise where the class ends today. Is there... frustrated I didn't get that in. But is there any questions that I could answer on things that we did so far with our app? Lindsay said she's God. I'm sure it's a typo. All right. Well, thanks for that. Like I said, I will build that video for you right now, and then we can by next week, if you can give it a test drive and let me know if you have any problems, that'd be awesome. Yeah. So in terms of the deployment phase, I'll just say this in closing. So Google takes a long time to do their initial assessment if an application can be hosted in the Play Store. And it's, as I understand it, it's related to just like security, validation type stuff. But subsequent releases do not take as long. So I would encourage you to deploy your app or a version of your app earlier rather than later so that, you know, in week, I think it's week 12 you need to submit. So we're in week 8 right now. So in a month from now, when you need to have your final working version, you won't be stuck waiting for Google to, you know, do anything. You could just do a small release, kind of a change. So I'll get this video tuned up, and then I would encourage you, you know, even next week, when you're handing in assignment 2, you after that start pushing it. Sound good? And thanks everyone. It was a pleasure talking to you, and thanks for the Diwali insights. It's cool how you decorated the house, and I look forward to my sweets when I get back on campus. Take care, everyone.